Welcome to this episode of the Successful Franchisee's Beautiful View. You don't want to miss a second of this conversation that I had with Aaron Locks, the founder and franchisor of the National Academy of Athletics. If you're interested in working with children, getting them off the couch and out of the video games, watch the whole video. And in the comments, I'll put in Aaron's contact information, and you can always contact me to talk about this fantastic opportunity in the franchise space. And Aaron, we're going to just dive into it. Thanks for joining me today. How are you?
Man, if I was any better, I'd be selling tickets. Luke, I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, it's great having you on the YouTube channel and for everybody to see. And tell me, because you've got a very interesting and unique franchise brand, Aaron. What's your background that led you into doing this in the first place?
Well, when I started when I was 3 years old, actually, it was kind of that. My dad left when I was very young, and I had coaches throughout my life from 7 years old all the way through that have made major impacting change on my life. And youth sports is really, in my opinion, the best life skill trainer of social, emotional, and life skills. So this was my opportunity. And starting with Magic Johnson and John Wooden and the Lakers, I've never had a day job outside of youth sports all the way through since 1983. So I guess that means I'm either really experienced or really old or a little bit of both.
I'm right there with you. And how did the idea for National Academy of Athletics come into being?
Well, I was told I gave a talk at a college not too long ago, and they said I'm an overnight success, and I would say a 40-year overnight success, right? I think the concept of the National Academy of Athletics is simple. What we do is we found that youth sports is in trouble, and parks and recreation and schools need help. And since they're understaffed, under budget, yet the demand is more and more every year, I thought I can step in. So I did it privately and did stuff with the pro organizations and for that in the 80s. And then in the 90s, I ran another company that was facility based. But I realized that to be able, as I travel this great country talking about youth sports, the more of service I can be, the more kids are going to have a positive life through sports. So I've had 2 million kids come through the program since I started in 1983. And my goal is before I leave planet Earth that millions of kids will have more.
Of those 2 million, what's a story that sticks out to you?
There are so many stories. The biggest ones I think that really hit home are when the family is not traditional, two parents living home, etc. The child comes to camp and has an experience that is just outside where they literally feel safe and honored and have an amazing opportunity to get to a whole nother level of confidence that they wouldn't normally have. But I'll tell you the funniest one was a camp that we ran in San Jose, California, and it was with Coach George Carl when he was coaching. And he wanted to mess with the kids and have them have such a positive experience. It was so much fun. So one day we stole one tennis shoe from all the kids and put them in a pile in the middle of the gym. And the kids were like, what's going on? The next day, we were squirting them with squirt guns and just messing with the kids all the time. And no one would do anything. But the last day, when all the parents were there and the whole deal, George Carl's in front talking to everybody, and some kids asked me, and they got a Gatorade jug and they dumped it over his head. And all the parents were like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And it was great. And George Carl threw him a towel and he wiped his face. Finally, we're having fun. So to me, youth sports is supposed to be fun. The kids will learn and they'll have a great time. But we try to make it an experience that has routine and ritual that will carry them to be more successful in the real game, which is life.
That's outstanding. Thank you for sharing. Who are you looking to partner with to expand this all across the U.S.? What kind of folks fit your franchise?
We are looking for people that have a outgoing personality, that have a passion to help kids, that understand it's a mission and a business. And we found a way to put the two together to make it successful for everybody. I would like if you're somebody out there looking to change kids' lives and want to make a living and you're not afraid of social media, you're willing to talk to people, and you're willing to follow our system, you'll be successful at this.
Outstanding. Share some of your success stories so far. I know you're just getting started. Yeah, I mean, you're literally taking your first step with 16 franchisees and six corporate locations. What's a success story so far?
Big, we've got three major successes. One of them is just the fact that, corporately, it's kind of like having your own, and the reason why we continue to do this is because it's like your own science place that you can laboratory and figure things out, right? So one of the successes is corporately is the ability to work with where like one school district, every school in the district uses our service. So 19 schools get after school sports, recess and lunchtime, and physical education, which is really cool. And so that's one. Corporately, we've had some really cool successes where one of our first franchisee came in and was able to get a contract with a city and with a school district within 3 weeks, which is pretty unheard of, and just rolled it out. So that's been great. And the last one is just actually from Brad. I spoke to him this morning, watching what he's doing in Michigan, because he started out kind of slow and kind of just tested the waters and went forward. And all of a sudden, it's like the floodgates open. It's like, oh my goodness. And it's not just the fact that they're making money, great, but the impact that he's seeing on kids' lives. He goes to the grocery store and the kids are coming up and going, oh, that's coach, and that, and the connection is there. So it makes him feel like he's having a major impact on the community, which just ties the mission together. So there's a lot of different, I mean, we're having successes all the time, but those are three that just come to mind.
And you brought up working with school districts and camps, and one of the things that folks looking for a franchise, they're looking for multiple revenue streams. What else is involved in the business model that brings in revenue?
Yeah, we're a little unique than some of the others that are out there in the space. Most of them will go in and want to work with the Parks Rec School and rent a space to operate. We have a business to business component, and we have a business consumer or family. So the B2B is where you start, and that's develop a relationship with the Parks and Rec, the community, to be of service. And we can run 14 different sports year round in service of a community. So that's pretty awesome, right? And so one is directly with them, and then we can run camps and leagues and clinics. So literally there's something that's going to fit the need of the kids in their community. We also help out with youth sports leagues, whether it's Little League baseball or volleyball, so other ways as well. And then we shift over to the schools, which is then includes the after school, the enrichment piece, because we know kids need to move their bodies more, recess and lunchtime, and then also the physical education. The Obama administration at the end of 2014 actually gave us the certification to be allowed to provide the Presidential Physical Fitness Challenge and testing for the kids. So we do that in over 75 schools. Again, very rewarding. So with the NASCAR Athletics, we're not pigeonholed into one lane. We can run programs with the cities, municipalities, Parks and Rec, Boys and Girls Clubs, YMCAs. We can also go directly to schools. So having that is really, in my opinion, just a unique identifier and an amazing opportunity.
Congratulations on the award. That
Thank you.
sounds like a new partner is going to be extremely busy. Give us a little overview of the day in the life of a brand new franchise partner.
I love it. A day in the life. So we have a 6-week training course that they'll go through. And as they're going through the process, they're going to learn everything from how to get business license and get their insurance set up, how to develop relationships. I have a full-time staff that will help guide them through this process. Now, they're going to have to do the work. It says 6 weeks, can be done in a month, somewhere in between of them going through. So that's where it's going to start. After that, they're going to take the system we designed, which again, we create all of the materials and the collateral and the emails, and they're going to start to reach out to the community. After that, then it's going to be knocking on doors. Well, here's the cool part. Maybe I'm nuts, but I'm going to fly to their town. If you're a new franchisee, and you and I are going to spend time together, a day and a half, meeting, pressing the flesh, and connecting with those in your community. So that's really where it starts. Once they get programs on the books, then it's a matter more of the administration component, making sure that it's all set up. Then we shift to marketing to make sure that people know about it. Then it shifts to operation, which is then putting the staff in place to run the programs.
Yeah, that's great. And what size staff would a new franchise partner need?
Well, it starts with this many and builds up. If they're savvy and willing to learn and follow systems, new franchisee, in fact, I think 11 of our 16 are operating everything on their own. The ones that aren't have decided that they want to get bigger quicker. So some of them have bought multiple territories, or one bought one territory, 9 months later got a second one. So they invested that way. So that's one avenue. The other avenue is that they go, you know what? I need somebody to handle my social media because they don't feel comfortable doing it. So that component, but it's very small. The larger your staff will become was when you decide, Luke, if you said, I don't want to work a program, that's great. You do all of the components of setting it up and marketing it, and then you would hire the staff, which again will train you and set you up. And the staff goes out, they use our app that has everything they need, and they run the program. So it depends. I would say right now, about 30% of the area captains, franchisees actually physically go run programs. The other 70% hire the staff to do it. So it's not an easy answer because if they get a contract, like one of our first franchisees got 14 schools within 2 weeks, two staff members, he needed a lot, right? Pretty quick.
Yeah, yeah. And you touched on the initial training
Mhm.
and getting onboarded. Um, what type of train support can a franchisee expect once they're up and running and may need some help?
5-star support, maybe even 10-star support. So we have, besides myself, we have Taylor and Kevin and a whole team that here's what'll go. Every month, there's 2 meetings a month where they'll come through. It's about an hour, hour and a half. In fact, we have one tomorrow. And basically, we just talk everybody together, rose and thorn, what's working, what's not working, etc. And then we have our preset for summer or seasonally. There's a once a month meeting with myself, the chief of staff, and the exec that actually meet with the franchise and walk through what they're working on. Kevin will check with them where they can text and say, hey, I need help with this. And I'll say, great, you know what? You need to talk to Mike about schools or whatnot. So there's constant connection. Every Monday, I put together that goes out what's called a CEO weekly. And it basically says, here's what you'd be working on this week. Make sure you contact these people and go forward. So it's all systemized. But the support, if you ask anybody, I think one of the first things they tell you is the support is unbelievable.
Yeah, thank you. Um, any states that you're not available in currently?
I'm sure there's a few that we're still working on, Washington, New York, the harder to register states, but the majority of the states, if it's a non-registration state, we're in for sure. Some of them we just got Connecticut and Virginia just put us in. So there might be a couple, but I'll tell everybody, if you're really into it, here's the good news. Sports transcend states and contact your community. So if kids want it, we'll be there and we'll make sure to make it work for you. I'm committed to that.
Aaron, what haven't I asked you that you want folks to know that may be interested in supporting your franchise
It's a great
and
question.
partnering?
That's a great question. Um, if you've ever thought watching your kids grow up that youth sports was done maybe not the way that you thought it should be or could make it better, you've either coached it or not coached it. Your kids played it, you played, whatever connection there is. You don't have to worry about being a great athlete, a great teacher, a great coach. We have those systems. If you're a good person and you want to help the kids because you saw what's going on, or you had an amazing experience as a kid yourself and you want to bring that back, that I think is what is really making this fit. The other one I tell everybody is make sure if you're going to do this that you have a 6 month ramp up with us, right? We don't charge minimums for 6 months. We want to make sure that you can be successful. So to do that, what we need is you to be able to dedicate that as we go forward. And one that gets asked me a lot is this a part-time gig? You can start part-time, but you're going to be successful. And so I would say you can start part-time. One of our best started as a Rite Aid manager at night and did this job during the day. So it can be done, but I think you're going to have to see as you level up the desire, the need, our brand is the demand.
Aaron, thank you so much for joining me today on the Successful Franchisees Beautiful View. And I'll put Aaron's website and email address down in the comments below. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and even share this video if you know who you know that would like to get involved with Aaron and National Academy of Athletics and level up and elevate children's sports, youth sports. Thanks so much, Aaron.
Appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Thanks, everybody. Let's get together. Let's connect. Let's change kids' lives. Thanks, Luke.